What's the good word, y'all? It's your boy DKB here. So we're a couple days away from officially starting the season for the New York Jets. Our favorite star, Garrett Wilson, looks like he has a juicy matchup this season, right? Now, the Buffalo Bills, they've definitely had one of the strongest defenses in the NFL, but statistically, that hasn't stopped Garrett Wilson from absolutely ripping them up in the two matchups that we had last year. And keep in mind, we'll have to keep harping on this because it's such a huge difference. We're talking about the likes of Zach Wilson and Buffalo defense and throwing these balls to Garrett Wilson to now us having Aaron Rodgers, and we know that connection to Garrett Wilson is lively. It's well. We only seen 2 series during the Giants preseason game, and there's quite a difference in cornerback quality. But nonetheless, we'll break down why Garrett Wilson will probably still go out there and feast very early to kick off the season. So what has he done so far? Last year, he got 16 targets. We know how vicious Garrett Wilson can be off of the line of scrimmage to get open immediately, and the different attributes he brings in terms of being able to catch in traffic, build up, run after catch, yardage, different things of that nature. He had 16 targets come his way. He brought down 14 of them. That's a 87.5% connection rate. He did that to the tune of 170 yards, otherwise 12.1 yards per catch for himself. A healthy total considering the likes that he's going up against Tre'davious White, and oftentimes drawing that double coverage where you're seeing guys like Kaiir Elam or Damar Hamlin, Jordan Poyer, Micah Hyde over the top to try to help out. 9 of those 14 catches went for first down, so he was consistently moving chains, and he caught most of his contested targets that came his way, which is all you can really ask for. He's done it in every way possible. The only thing that's really missing here is his ability to go out there and get into the end zone, which, again, considering the quarterbacks and the struggles that we've had the entire season trying to rack up points, shouldn't be much of a surprise. Now, what I didn't know is he's done this against basically every defensive back that Buffalo can throw his way. The amazing part is their number one cornerback in Tre'davious White, who he's fallen off a little bit, right? He's getting up there in age, 29 years old. I think he's turning 29 or turning 30, but he's in that realm. He's giving him most of his damage. Tre'davious White has covered him for 5 plays, or I shouldn't say 5 plays. 5 of the attempts that went Tre'davious White's way. Garrett Wilson came down with 4 of those, 51 yards, and he's got 4 first downs against Tre'davious White. Other news is basically just the other DBs that they tried to bring coverage opportunities or double coverage his way too. Saran Neal, Kaiir Elam, Damar Hamlin, Dane Jackson, Teron Johnson, Christian Benford. It didn't really matter. Garrett Wilson had the number of every single Buffalo Bills cornerback and or safety / hybrid that they tried to throw his way. So I've been blown away by these numbers specifically because I think a lot of people would consider Trey White still a top 5 cornerback with the work that he's gone out there and put in and the type of players that he's going up against. But, people are getting younger, faster, more explosive every day. Garrett Wilson, even among elite athletes, is an elite athlete and freaky after the catch and coming off the line with some of the things he can do. I mean, as the season continued to progress, as Zach Wilson got dragged through the dirt, you still heard players coming out from across the league saying that they're watching tape on Garrett Wilson. They love what he can do. I think he got ranked 76th on the top 100 board already, and you'd imagine that he can probably jump into that top 50 portion very easily by season's end as long as he's able to stay on the field. So, again, I can't say enough that at this point, based on what we've seen last year, there's not a DB that they have that's going to be able to cover Garrett Wilson one-on-one. Probably many teams don't really have it in general, right? You're going to need a Sauce Gardner type level guy, and really there's going to be a handful of them. Jalen Ramsey, Sauce Gardner, and by the way, for what it's worth, Sauce Gardner got the better of him last year. We haven't got a confirmation of that this year, but from everything that I've seen via training camp, Garrett Wilson's been the best player on the team, not named Aaron Rodgers. And he may have actually gotten the better of Sauce Gardner this year. So that'll happen when you have a quarterback that's one of the most accurate in history, and it has the mental ability to go out there and completely decimate a defense for you. So what can we really expect here? I would say is going to be much of the same. It's going to be a long day for these Buffalo Bill cornerbacks. And to be honest, Buffalo's biggest L could come this week of the entire season. We've seen them struggle to the tune of not being able to do much against the run for quite some time. Not having Von Miller is a huge blow to kind of speed up what Aaron Rodgers has to do. But again, Tre'Davious White, he's aging. He's not going to be able to go out there and put up the same consistent coverage that we've seen before. So there's a couple of things Buffalo will have to try to do to even limit what Garrett Wilson will his impact on the game. They're going to have to use Tre'Davious White and probably a Micah Hyde over top to help with the coverage, maybe a DeMar Hamlin. Or they're going to have to play a lot more zone coverage than maybe what they necessarily want to, which means Garrett Wilson, just by virtue of how he's been winning a lot of these matchups, he's going to give the New York Jets as a whole, this entire offense, the ability to open up completely, everything. Everybody should see a lot more of a comfort zone in terms of where Aaron Rodgers can throw to, where they want to try to maneuver. We'll see if we see a ton of press coverage, but again, it's a lot of faith to put on one receiver, completely changing what a defense can do. But what else, what else can Buffalo do in order to try to save face here? Even if Garrett Wilson kind of drops an egg, right, and let's say they hold him to, only a handful of catches. He doesn't do anything crazy. Let's say it's a preseason stat line, right? 3 catches, 30 yards. Maybe 1 or 2 of the catches go for first downs. You're still talking about the significant impact of him drawing coverage his way. Virtually every play is the way I imagine it, and we've been able to beef up our skill position players so much that this is a potential early breakout game for a Breece Hall and a Dalvin Cook combination to see what they can do on the ground. But all in all, I'm very hyped for what this matchup is going to look like. Tre'Davious White, to me, again, still a very strong cornerback. But right now, just based on recency bias, Garrett Wilson gives us that X factor on the offense that we haven't had in quite some time. So maybe I'm overhyping it. I try to be objective as much as possible. But obviously, I'd love to hear your side, especially if you're a Buffalo Bills fan. If you guys are New York Jets faithful, let me know what you think, and I will catch you guys. Peace.